Podcast. Presented by XFL 2.0. With your host, Tron Hawkins.
Welcome to This is XFL Podcast. I'm your host, Tron Hawkins. You know, we got some news this week, and it was news that we kind of figured out a long time ago. We just needed somebody to confirm it. You know, like when you was in high school and you thought your girlfriend was cheating on you, and it turns out it was true, but you had to know for sure before you said anything, or when you always maybe thought you was adopted because you didn't look quite like your family, and a couple years later they're like, hey, sorry son, you're adopted. That is kind of what happened this week with this lawsuit against the AAF. We kind of always figured that it's supposed to be the XFL all along, that we kind of figured that the timing was kind of weird, but now we know why. A lawsuit came out earlier this week that said Bob Vanadich and Charlie Ebersol collectively created the idea of XFL 2.0, which became the Alliance American Football. Vanadich feels he is entitled to at least 50% of the AAF. The following should give more clarity and directly from page 2 of the lawsuit. Thanks to XFL2K.com, he kind of dug this up before it was deleted. It got deleted as soon as he kind of got wind of it, but he didn't break the news. That was Darren Rovell, but he kind of, XFL2K.com, who I'm partnering with, thank you again, he kind of got the lawsuit and was able to upload it to XFL2K.com before it was deleted. We don't know if there's any other copies of it out there, so if you got a chance, go to XFL2K.com. I'm going to kind of skim over it and kind of give you the details, but he goes into details and there's charts and everything about, you know, what was supposed to happen with the AAF. So let's kind of talk about it. This case is about the untold and complete story of how the Alliance American Football, which is a horrible name that you kind of tell they just kind of did like a random football league generator name. I'm not being negative, I'm just saying it's a bad name. Even AAF fans will agree that it's a fucking horrible name. It'll tell how it was conceived, founded, announced, and launched. It says, as of early May of 2007, defendant Charlie Ebersol has been peddling a fictional tale regarding the genesis of the AAF that only a Hollywood storyteller could conceive. The truth is that Ebersol was one of two, not him, just him, co-founders that formed a joint venture or partnership agreement in furtherance of launching the AAF, and that he conspired with his father, Duncan Dick Ebersol, who was originally one of the XFL founders, with Minnie Mac, Keith Rabers, William Bill Polian, Thomas Tom Vett, and others, to co-opt and purloin fellow co-founder Robert Vannick's 50% ownership interests and other rights and benefits through a series of deliberate, fraudulent, intentional, wrongful, and deceptive acts, as well as oust him from partnership and joint venture that would become known as the AAF. What he's saying is he's one of the co-founders. Now, it's kind of funny how this kind of came out after the whole $250 million investment from the owner of the Hurricanes. I don't know if this guy wants a piece of it. I don't know how much of this is true. But some of this, it's got to be true for it to be in court documents. That's how I look at it. They had to get the information from somewhere. This guy just didn't sit at home and go, you know what? I don't know how way I'm going to get my money. I'm going to say I co-founded AAF and it's supposed to be the XFL 2.0. Like, he didn't just make this up. He had to... some of it has to have some grain of truth in it. That's how I look at it. He didn't just wake up one day and go, you know what, I have an idea to make some money. It's possible, not all of it's true, but anyway. Plaintiff Robert Vanich is entitled to 50% ownership interest in the defendant Legendary Field Exhibitions LLC, which is otherwise known as the American Football Alliance, kind of like how Alpha Entertainment owns the XFL. A professional football league that is now nearly 3 weeks into its first season of games, and recently secured a $250,000 commitment in funding from businessman and owner of the National Hockey League's Carolina Hurricanes, Thomas Tom Dundon. As a result, in part of Vannich's contribution to the business, plaintiff is informed and believes that this is further funding was structured in such a way to grant Dundon and others equity in the AAF, which required Vannich's consent, given the 50-50 equity agreement Vanich had with Charlie Ebersol, as well as the agreement regarding how the business was to be structured and controlled. Vanich is further entitled to seek declaratory relief as to a defendant of Ebersol Sports Media Group, Inc.'s role in any control or ownership of the AAF, which was born out of a joint venture partnership agreement initially dubbed the secret code word for the business XFL 2.0, later known as Project Phoenix. It's not the most creative name in the world, Project Phoenix. Phoenix rising from the ashes from the dead. Let's be honest, XFL was dead. Now, here's what I have to say. Charlie Ebersol made, which I'll get into this later, he made that documentary about Vince probably in 2016, let's be honest. He made it. And it came out until 2 years later, but you know how movies and stuff go. He made it. He had the idea that he wanted to do it like Vince did. I don't think he meant to take the idea from Vince. I think he was trying to do it as a, Vince and Dad wanted to do this again. I want to make their dream come true. I don't think he was doing it in a vengeful way. But when Vince told him no about buying it, which we'll get into later, buying the name and rights and everything, he's like, you know what? I'm going to start my own damn league with its own name. And that's when they put the name in the random football generator and come up with Alliance American Football. In the filing, Vantage, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry if I don't. I just don't know how to say the guy's name. Vantage attached a copy of AAF's then referred to as XFL 2.0 sales presentation that was to be used during pitches. The presentation outlines who they are, their corporate timeline, how they plan on acquiring the XFL rights from WWE, their original planned markets, their expansion plan, as well as some insight on how they want to distribute the games. I went through, this is what XFL2K.com says, and pulled some notable slides, which you can see below. If you would like to view the full filing, you can do so here. So, again, go to XFL2K.com if you want to see this whole thing. It's pretty amazing. I'll go over the timeline and everything, but you got to see it for yourself. Again, thank you to XFL2K.com. He's the best out there on getting news like this. Okay, so February 2017, ESPN's 30 for 30. This was the XFL first airs. Now, this is what was supposed to happen. Charlie Ebersol Sports Media Inc. CESM parentheses is incorporated. April 2017, SESM purchases XFL assets and rights from Vince McMahon and NBC for $50 million in the combination of cash and stock. So they was prepared to buy the rights, the naming rights, from Vince and NBC. Obviously, that didn't happen. Vince was like, hell no. Since y'all want to start a league, I'm going to start a league. And I'm going to do it better. Let's be honest. Charlie Ebersol rushed this, I think. I don't care. It says 2 years in the making or not. I don't think it was. I don't think it has been. That's the thing that hangs me up about this case is, if it's really 2 years in the making, why is it such to a bad start? Well, why do they wait until after the XFL announcement to announce it? That's the thing I don't get. Vantage files $450 million regulation A+ financing with the SEC and commits capital to XFL 2.0. That's supposed to be May 2017. June 2017, $10 million seed investments round opens. June 2017 as well, XFL 2.0 Inc.'s exclusive landmark distribution deal with WWE Network. And I'll go over this in a minute too. They wanted to help WWE. And this has been going around for a while, the WWE Network. They want it to be tiered. They want it to be tiered content. Their pitch was they could help the XFL get to the WWE get to that tiered content by doing the XFL games on there. But as you know now, Vince wants to keep the XFL and WWE separate, and I think they want to use him as a platform, kind of rubbed them the wrong way. It would have never worked. Football and WWE Network would never worked. If it did work, they'd be putting old XFL games on there. Let's be honest. June 2017 also was supposed to happen. XFL 2.0 HQ 50 mm, I guess $1 million. Reg A plus opens. October 2017, 10 cities was supposed to be selected. October 2017, December, HQ Regional A financing closes. In January to May 2018, Team Reg A plus financing campaign are launched 2 per month. So the teams are going to start financing money. In July 2018, plus the next XFL draft. August 2018, combine and practice begins. 2017, cities franchise bids are due. And so they was going to do a franchise model. They wasn't just going to do XFL owned. I don't think they're anyway. They're going to do it on everything. And then finally, this past February, XFL 2.0 was supposed to kick off, which makes sense. Like we said on some of the message boards and stuff, we always thought that this was supposed to be the XFL 2.0. I mean, it kind of seemed that way, and that's why it kind of seems that way now with them losing money and stuff. It looks like they're going down the same path the XFL 2001 kind of did. So here's the deal: asset purchase of all XFL assets. Purchase price equal to $50 million, paid as a combination of cash and stocks. Stock will be issued at closing and at price Series A valuation. Cash payment spread over 3 years. Repurchase rights fee for $1 if 100 million is not raised, or 100 mm is not raised within 18 months or the event of any material default. WWE or other stockholders will each be able to invest in seed round under scramble rules. First party to fund 100 million will receive equity and option to convert 50% discount to the Series A valuation. It says their main goal was to drive more subscribers and revenue to the WWE Network and its over-the-top platform and support the WWE's 3 pillars. So here's the WWE Network proposed deal. Digital joint venture between the XFL and WWE. 3-year deal with the WWE Network will get exclusive broadcast stream rights to its choice of 2 games per week. So we're going to do all 4 games. Fixed fee paid by WWE for exclusive broadcast stream rights. Revenue share on ECPM uplift and digital. Freemium model with skinny bundles under revenue share. First look at all ancillary projects. And WWE Network audience extension initiative. Now here's the digital distribution and monetization model. What they wanted to charge and everything. Delayed games and archived content was free / ad supported. So it's going to be like, you can watch this, but you're going to have to wait a few days to watch it. Game day live season package, 45 games, was going to be $43 per season, which ain't bad. Single game package, $5 per game. So if you want to watch, if you want to watch every game separate, it's going to be a lot of money. Team package, 8 games, plus playoffs if they make it, was going to be $20 a season. So if you was a fan of, say, LA Extreme, you can buy just their team games for $20 a season, or you can buy every single game for $45. Pretty much $1 a game. They also had a all-access year-round premium. Includes Red Zone. Now, here's the problem I have. If you only have 4 games, how the hell are you going to have a Red Zone channel? Which, I guess it's going to have 10 games, but there's supposed to be 10 teams. Again, how the hell are you going to have a Red Zone channel with that many games going on at once? I don't get what they want to try to do there. Including Red Zone, reality shows, fantasy show, fan show, exhibition, draft, insider, archives. So it had everything. It pretty much was going to be their NFL network. Virtual reality and augmented reality package is to be determined. So they was kind of going to do a virtual reality or augmented reality package on the network. Okay, here's where they wanted to play. Iconic cities with growing MSAs. Data-driven decisions. Target certain NFL legacy cities / teams. Well, I'll get that in a minute. It was going to be U.S. only for 1 to 3 years. Markets where will be the main attraction. Local markets must compete for a team. Expansion of 2 teams per year, growing from 8 teams at the beginning to 12. So here was the likely markets for year 1. Oakland, which makes sense because, they thought that the Raiders would be out of town by then. San Diego, which is where the AAF is now. Oklahoma City, which is different, and San Antonio, which is where the AAF is now. Memphis, which is where the AAF is now. Birmingham, which is where they're at now. Columbus, Ohio, which is different. And Orlando, which is where they're at now. The XFL legacy cities was going to be Memphis, which was the Maniacs before. Birmingham, which was the Bolts, or the Blast Bolts. And Orlando, which was... what the hell was Orlando? I'm drawing a blank here. But anyway, they was going to target those cities and just call them legacy cities. My guess is they were just going to use the same team names. Would be my guess. I mean, again, this all makes sense now that the AAF was going to do this. That they originally did put in XFL because of the cities that they targeted. It's not a coincidence that they targeted cities that don't have football teams, kind of like the XFL did originally. And it was Orlando Rage. So I just looked that up. Orlando Rage was the team name back then. So that was the 8 cities. Oakland, San Diego, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Birmingham, Columbus, Ohio, and Orlando, Florida. Now, if you think about it, and I'm about to name the expansion cities I was looking at for future years, these might be, Oakland, Oklahoma, Columbus might be cities that the AAF, if they survive, expand to later. So remember this later on. So the possible expansion markets I was looking at was Las Vegas, which again will be XFL city. Here's the weird one: Ann Arbor, Michigan. They want to play in the big house. I'm sorry, the XFL couldn't put 100,000 people in there, so that was going to be weird. Portland, which makes sense. Phoenix, which is where they're at now, miserably failing. St. Louis, which is where the XFL is now. Virginia and the Carolinas. So that was their possible expansion locations. And I think, again, if you look at the model, Vince and them doing a little bit different this time than AAF. AAF kind of, when they wanted to be XFL 2.0, wanted to originally do what the XFL did to begin with and go to places that didn't have teams, like Oakland, like San Diego, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Birmingham, Columbus, Orlando. All of them don't have teams. That's originally what they wanted to do. Even when they did expansion, the only place they was going to go that had a football team was Phoenix, the Carolinas, and maybe Virginia if you count DC. So they was going to those smaller markets. They was going to maybe like Richmond or somewhere like that for the Virginia teams. Maybe somebody that ain't got a team in the Carolinas, like Raleigh or something. Maybe what they wanted to do. But Vince is doing it different this time. Vince is doing it in big cities like New York, like DC, like LA again. Even St. Louis is a big city. They don't have football. I think Vince and XFL put down more money for St. Louis. I think St. Louis was one of the teams that AAF was trying to get. That might be why they scrambled and got like a Salt Lake City or somewhere random like that. I think they wanted to be in St. Louis, and Vince and them just beat them to the punch. So it makes sense. This all makes sense now. And we all kind of figured it was how the timing was. This was originally supposed to be the XFL. The AAF was originally supposed to be XFL. And I thank to God that it never happened. So Project Phoenix seems like it's going to crash and burn. Vince and them doing 2 years. I don't think Charlie Ebersol would have ever hired Andrew Luck. And he would have never got Bob Stoops. He would have never got Pep Hamilton. He would have even got Jim Zorn. This is the difference between the two. The XFL's got time to do it. Vince has hired good football people. I ain't saying they're good football people on that side. Bill Polian is a genius. He's a good GM and everything. But what does Troy Polamalu know about football right now? What does Hines Ward? He's only played it. Vince and them put management people in positions to succeed, and that's why the XFL is going to, I think, succeed more than AAF. And that's nothing against AAF. I watch AAF. I love football. I want to see both succeed. But at the end of the day, Vince said, you know what? No, you're not going to ruin. Vince seen how horrible of a plan this was to put it on the WWE Network and try all this stuff and the cities is going to be in. Vince seen how horrible idea it was, and he didn't want the XFL's name on there, so he said, no, I'll do it. I'll show you how to do it. So I don't think as much as Charlie stabbing Vince in the back. It was Charlie was butthurt that he couldn't get the XFL name, so he said, I'll show you, and I'll compete against you. And, that's what everybody's trying to do. Everybody's trying to compete against Vince, and what happens in the end? Vince always wins. Vince always wins. XFL might not last forever either, but they're going to outlast AAF, I guarantee you that. Thank you for listening again. I hope you enjoyed this Project Phoenix episode. I thought it was just a fascinating story about how this was originally supposed to be the XFL 2.0. If you have any questions or anything, or want to leave a review, do that. Leave a review on any podcast platform. Check me out on XFL2K.com. My videos on there. Check out his webpage. Check out his new site. It is wonderful stuff. Probably the best XFL website outside of XFL.com. And hell, he's got more news than XFL.com does. Check out XF Podcasts. We do a lot of stuff with them. Check out XFL Board. A lot of XFL fans on there. Check out our Discord for XFL. It's XFL 2K Discord. And check out XFL2K.com too for Dallas Y'all t-shirts. I'm sure on the XFL show you heard people talking about how they have t-shirts for Dallas Y'all. That's us. That's us at XFL2K.com. So check us out. Buy a t-shirt. And just let us know how we're doing. Thank you. Have a good night. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Probably be about the next coach. Who do y'all think it's going to be? Or what city? It seems to me they're alternating east, west, or west, east. So I think we're going to get an east team next. St. Louis, New York, or Tampa. It might be Tampa. It might be St. Louis. That's my two guesses. So, but anyway, stay tuned. I'll put out as much content as I can, and have a good night.